Hi everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter, and I am here with a card project for you today. I'm going to be using this die to make a tag shaker card, and I'm also going to be using this sparkle stamp set by Studio Calico, and I love this stamp set. The sentiments are perfect. But I'm going to start out this card by cutting this business card holder die. This is from Lifestyle Crafts and We Are Memory Keepers out of this vellum. Now you can see that tab over there on the top of the screen, it doesn't fit all the way, the die doesn't fit all the way on this vellum, but that's okay because that particular tab is what I use to close it up. I'm not going to be using any adhesive on this to close it up, so in the end it's all going to work out fine and it's not going to matter, and you'll see it as it comes together. So I'm just running that through my die cut machine to get my shape cut out. Now the nice thing about this die is that there's already score lines on it, so all I have to do is fold at the score lines to assemble this business card holder, but I'm going to be using it as a tag, but you'll see it come together. Now the bottom tab folds up, and you'll see this side tab that I'm going to fold in here. That's the one that didn't fit all the way on the vellum, but that's okay because in the end it's all going to work out. So you can see how this comes together. And I'm going to be filling this with some sequins, but in order to keep those sequins from spilling out of that tab that's on the front that the top flap folds into, I'm going to just line this with a little bit of acetate. This is just some cheap, clear transparency from the office store, but you could also use some packaging from your stamp sets and that sort of thing. So I'm just getting an idea of how big I need to trim that, and then I'll take it over to my trimmer and trim it off. And you can see I'm just folding this up inside of this business card holder. So I'm getting this all in there and positioned. And then I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch around all the edges of that. So you can see I've done that there. I went ahead and stitched along the top tab portion as well so that I could just add a little bit of that detail too. So I used some gold thread for that, and now you can see that when I put my sequins in there, the guts can't fall out of that little slit that's on the front of the business card holder. So that's why I lined it with the acetate. And now it's the fun part. I get to fill this with tons of sequins from Pretty Pink Posh and Studio Calico. So I'm starting out with the 6mm and the 4mm metallic gold sequins from Pretty Pink Posh. I love Pretty Pink Posh sequins. And here are the orchid sequins. These are little tiny 4mm orchid sequins. I'm also going to add some watermelon sequins and some of the Studio Calico Yes Peas and something blue sequins. Is it something blue? Yes, something blue sequins. So you can see here I have a variety of colors and sizes, and there's even some stars in there. And when I put these in, I'm making sure that I put them on the back side of where that transparency is so that they're not between there. They can't fall out of that slit on the front. So once I get it all kind of filled up the way I want, I actually went back and added a few more gold. I'm going to add some sequins under this top folding flap too because I want more of that color to kind of show through the vellum to not be quite as diffuse. So I'm just going to take my little matte medium here and I'm going to, apparently I'm going to spread it all over my work surface today, but that's okay. And I'm just using some sequins some tweezers to pick up my sequins. I'll dip that in the matte medium and then just adhere it to the inside of that flap, kind of where it'll show through. And then I'm going to let that dry, and I have this embossing folder. This is from the Stripes set from We Are Memory Keepers, and I'm going to emboss a piece of Neenah Solar White cardstock, and I'm kind of shifting it over to the left so that the center of that radiation will kind of come out from where I'm planning on putting my little shaker tag. So I have that all embossed, you can see there, and that, like I said, that center point of that radiation is off over to the right-hand side. These embossing folders are nice and big. They're 6x6, so it works out well for something like this. So now I'm going to go ahead and work on my sentiment, and I have this Just Sparkle stamp from the Sparkle stamp set. I'm going to emboss it in some gold embossing powder, so I prepped my surface with a little powder tool, and then I'm inking that up in some Versamark ink, and I'm adding my Ranger Superfine Detail embossing powder in gold. I love this embossing powder. And then I'm going to go ahead and heat set that. Now I use this exact same process to do the same thing on some white cardstock. You're going to see I have both of these sentiment pieces here. And I ended up just liking the one that was embossed on the white cardstock a little bit more with my whole card project, so that's the one I ended up using. First, I'm going to go ahead and seal this business card holder up so that the guts don't come out on the recipient, so that the sequins will stay nice and inside that business card holder where I want them. So I'm just using a little matte medium to do that, and then I'll slide that front tab into the slit and put a heavy block, stamp block over that to let that dry and seal up really well. To finish off the card, I'm just trimming down this sentiment piece into an angle, and then I'm going to add a strip of gold cardstock along the bottom of that as well. Now my camera ran out of batteries, so I'm just going to quickly talk you through the rest of this card. I added a gold twine bow with some DMC gold thread. I love this thread. And then I mounted that whole card front onto some more glitter paper, and then my card base is made out of some taffy cardstock from Basil. So that completes my card today, a super sparkly project. As always, I have links to all the products used in this project over at my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. You can also find links to the products in the description at YouTube. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a fabulous day.